Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Coffee here, and today we are doing a whip and chat. Whip stands for work in progress. So get out whatever that is for you and work along with me as I tell you some stories from the coffee house shenanigans. Now, I hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful holiday. We did here at the coffee house, and we'll talk all about it. First things first, how you guys doing? Did you doing good? Nice to see you survive the holiday with your family and friends, because I know some of us be out here struggling when it comes to visiting family and stuff. So it's good to see you survived another year of visiting family and friends. 2, how many people are already tired of people asking them if they had a good holiday? Like, I know it's customary that after the holiday you ask people if they had a good holiday, but oh my God, I'm so tired of people coming up and, did you have a good holiday? What if I say no? What if I didn't have a good holiday? Like, I don't know about anybody else, but this holiday did not feel like a normal Christmas. It did not feel like a normal holiday. I don't know what it is. It just didn't feel normal to me. Like, I think it's just because it seemed like it came so quick. And then just as quickly as it came, it was gone. And I'm just like sitting here like, didn't we just clean up the dishes from Thanksgiving and now it's already like Christmas? Like, what the hell? So, yeah, it was a holiday. It was a good holiday, but it came so quick. And it's funny because today is what? Today that I'm recording this is, I don't know, it's like 2 or 3 days after Christmas. Whatever Tuesday is after Christmas. The 27th, I think. Yeah, I think it's the 27th. And Mr. Coffee's already back at work. Like, he's already back at work. He had off Friday and then Monday, and then he had to go back to work today. So it's just me and the kids hanging out, chilling. And the kids are, of course, upstairs playing with their Christmas stuff. They didn't get a whole lot this year. One, we hadn't planned on getting them a whole lot anyways, just because they have enough stuff, and they didn't really ask for anything. And they're like me, and if you're like us, please let me know in the comments. When people ask you what you want for Christmas, you sit there and ponder your brain, and you're thinking, sometimes you can think of something right off the bat. Other times you're just like, I don't know. And then Christmas comes and you start opening gifts, and everything that you could have possibly asked for Christmas comes to your head, and you're like, oh, God dang it, I could have asked for this for Christmas. Y'all, when my family asked me what to get me for Christmas, like my dad, I was like, I don't know. The day of Christmas, I'm sitting there with like 6 things in my head like that I could have asked him to get me for Christmas. I'm like, mother chicken. And so then I'm like, oh, well, I'll just wait till my birthday then. My birthday's not until August. So if you're someone like me who doesn't have a birthday at the beginning of the year, you then have to wait for like another holiday to come around. And where my dad doesn't get me anything for Valentine's Day, so that's out. So I was like, okay, I can't do Valentine's Day. I can get Mr. Coffee to get me something for Valentine's Day, but not my dad, because, you know, that's just weird. Then I was like, ooh, Mother's Day. Mother's Day is going to be my ace in the hole. Problem is, I have to wait until May. So I'm like, God dang it. But I essentially had gotten already a couple of early I already gotten a couple of early Christmas gifts. The 320 Uhuhu markers, which if you guys would like to see a video on like blending markers and stuff, how I do it anyways. I'm not saying the way I do it is right. But for those who just got holiday gifts, and I know a lot of people get crafting supplies for the holidays, there's so many videos that I need to get off my lazy ass and record. The problem is, it's the laziness for me, y'all. It's the laziness for me. I'm still getting over this chronic fatigue from having the Rona. I never really got over it from having it the first time, but it's worse now. And when I say it's worse, I mean, I will eat dinner, right? I'll go eat dinner, because I don't typically eat breakfast or lunch. I will go to eat dinner, and within 10 minutes of me standing up from the table, I'm asleep. It's been like this now for 3 weeks. It will not stop. And now I have even more of a reason not to eat breakfast or lunch, because literally if I eat anything, within 10 minutes of me eating it, I'm falling asleep. And so I'm just like, you know, I had to make a doctor's appointment, because I'm like, you know, what can I do to combat this? I'm like, there's not enough caffeine, and the caffeine doesn't do to me what it normally is supposed to do, which is like keep you awake. The caffeine for me makes me tired. The problem is I drink enough caffeine that I don't want to drink any more caffeine. Like, you would think that's weird, saying as my name is Miss Coffee or Caffeinated Doodler, depending on what platform you're watching this on. And I drink coffee all day. Okay, when I say all day, I literally mean all day. Like, I have a cup of coffee in the morning, one in the afternoon, and then one in the evening, okay? So there's no open time slot for that. And don't worry, for those folks that are wondering, yes, I still drink water. I still drink from my Circle bottle. Right now, I am drinking sweet tea, and it is freaking delicious. It is one of my new flavors, and I love it. So I'm still drinking water, but I don't want to intake any more caffeine. Like, I don't want to have a heart attack because I've drank too much caffeine. And 3 cups is already a lot for, like, you know, caffeine intake. So I'm just like, really don't want to do a whole lot more caffeine. So is there anything else that will keep me from getting the sleepies in the middle of the day? Like, I would be going to pick up the kids and falling asleep in the car. Like, it's gotten like that. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, I can't get anything done. So a lot of these drills are not wanting to lay down, and I think I need to, like, use the pill thing again because they're stuck together. Part of it is because they've been sitting in this container for so long, because if you know, I've been working on this kit forever. Should it have taken me this long? No. Is it taking me this long? Yes. Do we care? Not really. Anyways, so yeah, so I can do a video on the 320 Uhuhu markers. There's, of course, already videos out, like Christina LeRae did a video, a couple other people that I don't know did videos, but I have a few friends that have gotten markers and are like, I am going to need you to show me how to use these. So if there's enough of a demand for it, I'll make the video. Just like the Centro machine, I still use my Centro machine. That's the sad part. I still use it, but I don't record from it. Like, I don't record videos for some reason. Like, I don't know why. And I know there's a lot of, there's been an influx on the 2 videos I do have of it. And I'm like, okay, you really should probably make another video about that. Like, making a scarf or something. I don't freaking know. Either way. All right, and if you don't know the pill trick, we're going to put these drills in here, right? Now, not all of them are stuck together, but a good portion of them are. And what you would normally do is find, like, a coin, and you would stick it in there. And it looks like someone has stolen my coin out of it. So give me 2 seconds. See? 2 seconds. All right. I found a penny, so we're going to put the penny in there. And just shake it up real good. Usually you want to use like a nickel or something, but the penny was the first thing I found. And the static is real with these drills. The freaking drills sticking together have been an issue. And I just threw a dryer sheet in there to try to help, possibly. Looks like it helped a little bit. Well, I got all the drills out. And I think that's one of the main problems is why they're sticking together. It's because the static is making them stick together. All right, and we're just gonna take all the drills off this penny. There we go. So for those wondering how Miss Coffee deals with problems with drills, typically I don't. But when I have to, that's what I do. Anyways, so yeah, so it was a decent holiday here. Now, we had some issues, like most people, with packages not arriving on time. So let's go through this whole shindig, okay? So we had a couple of packages, like Mr. Coffee's mom had sent some stuff that never arrived. My parents had sent stuff for Maggie that didn't arrive. We had a couple of items for Maggie that didn't arrive. Now, most of this stuff had been sent out like 2 weeks ago, okay? 2 weeks ago. And would have been here on time had they not been so backed up for the holidays, which you, of course, have to give them grace because they are backed up from the holidays. You can't get enough workers, and then there's more stuff coming in that you can deliver in one day, obviously. So it takes them a little bit, which I was expecting stuff to get here like on Christmas Eve. And, you know, it cut it that close, but not to the point where, like, literally stuff did. This is the first year that we've had where items did not make it in time, and I was freaking out. My anxiety was just like, oh my God. Now, there's no set amount of gifts that you're supposed to give your child. They should be just grateful for what they have and what they did get if they got something. So even if they didn't get something, just be grateful that you have family to spend the holiday with, because not everybody does. So, but they're kids, so they're expecting toys and stuff. Anyways, so I'm sitting there, and we had been waiting on a couple of gifts from, you know, family, and we had stuff that we had been waiting on. And I had bought an artist glove like 3 weeks ago, and that I was waiting on to get here. Oh, speaking of that. So yeah, I did get a couple of things. Sorry, my brain is all over the place. I did get a couple of things early, like my 320 Ohuhu markers, which if you guys would like to see a video on how to use them and color blending and all that other fun stuff, let me know in the comments. A sketchboard. Now, my sketchboard I got super duper early because it's something that I needed for streaming, just to save my back from having to be bent over. It's a board that you put your iPad in, which if you're on Patreon, you would have already seen it. It's something you put your iPad in, and what it does is it keeps it makes it look like a table, and you can use it as a table instead of you having to use just like an iPad case. It's super duper awesome. I love it to death. Mr. Coffee got it for me way before Christmas, but he wanted to give it to me now since I stream, and I have been talking about how, like, I get stiff after my live streams because, one, my live streams over on Twitch are like 4 to 5 hours long. So I'm sitting there drawing for about 4 to 5 hours, and my back would get stiff. So he got me that early. And then, I think those were the only 2 gifts that he got me early. Now, I tried to get his gift early. The problem is, his gift involved my credit card, and I'm like, I want to pay it down a little bit more before I put all this stuff on it. So, if you guys had watched the video where I was trying to figure out what to get Mr. Coffee, and then I finally figured out what to get Mr. Coffee. So, Mr. Coffee, of course, like most of us, grew up poor. So, he didn't have, you know, the luxury of being able to get, like, nice things for, like, holidays and stuff. And a lot of the stuff he had that he did get was hand-me-downs. And, of course, he was grateful for that because, you know, he at least got something. So, when it comes to gifts, I try to make them special. Like, you know, stuff that he's wanted before that he was never able to afford or something like that. And I'll save up money the best I can to get it for him. So, I did a whipping chat not too long ago where I was, you know, asking you guys, what do you think I should do? Or, you know, what could I get Mr. Coffee? Because I wanted to get him a new gaming computer. Now, we had got an Orion one for his birthday last year. Orion's, like, obsessed with that freaking thing. He can do all the things on his laptop, or his computer. And so, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, we're going to get him the computer. And a few folks were like, ask him what he wants. Some folks were like, just surprise him or ask his friends. The problem is Mr. Coffee doesn't have friends. He has one friend at work. And if I were to ask that friend what kind of computer to get my husband, I'm pretty sure the FBI would show up at my house. Let's just say that. He's one of those types of friends. If you don't understand what that means, then you're better off. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm just going to have him pick it out. Because since it's his computer, and he's the computer nerd in the house, he's going to know exactly what specs he wants in a computer for a gaming computer. He's going to know exactly what he needs. So something that big, I definitely don't want to guess at it, and I definitely don't want somebody who doesn't know exactly what he wants it for to tell me what I should get for him. So we let him pick it out. Now, I gave him the option. He could either pick it out and have it by Christmas, so he had it to open on Christmas, or he could wait until Christmas and then pick it out and then get it after Christmas. Now, he chose, of course, to get it on Christmas. So I was like, all right, go to the website, pick out a laptop. And he's like, what? And I'm like, pick out a laptop for your gaming stuff. Your budget is this. And so he was like, all right. He goes on a website, takes him 2 days. He finally figures it out which one he wants. We order it. It was guaranteed by Christmas because it should have been here within 2 days because it was just coming from like 2 hours away. So I was like, all right, well, he'll definitely have it by Christmas. I'm super excited. He's excited. And I'm like, all right. We left it at that. Well, then we got an email stating that it had shipped like the next day. And I was like, yay, it's going to be here in time for Christmas. I'm so excited. And then as it got closer to Christmas, I noticed that the package took a detour. And it left North Dakota and it went somewhere else. And I was just like, hold up, wait, where are you going? No, come back. Where are you going? Went to Minnesota. And then it went to Idaho. And then it went to Utah. And then it came back to North Dakota. I'm like, what the flip? Don't know why they do that. guessing it was just an error, but it literally took a little mini vacay before coming here. And then, of course, you guys know we hit that polar vortex. And for those folks who don't know what the polar vortex was, it's when everywhere within the letter C of the U.S., because the way the weather hit, it hit in like a C shape. It got super cold for everyone. Now, right now, I'm sweating balls. Like, literally, I took a shower last night, and I'm going to have to take another one because I'm literally sweating bullets back here. We had to turn the heat down because it's got too hot in the house. The ferrets are getting overheated, so we had to turn the heat down. And today, it's supposed to be like 40 degrees. And I'm like, what the hell? This time last week, it was negative 26. The coldest we got was negative 41. And it was not a fun time. It was not a fun time. So we're sitting here thinking, you know, okay, well, this laptop will still be here by Christmas because literally we had 2 days worth of mail delivering before Christmas. So we were thinking, okay, it's still going to get here by Christmas. Now, the day on the 23rd, it said it was out for delivery. I'm like, hell yes, it's going to be here by Christmas. I'm super excited. And then at the end of the day, I realized, hold up, wait, we didn't get a UPS delivery. Nobody in my neighborhood did because they hadn't been in here. And I'm thinking, is it because of the snow? Because we still have traffic on our road. Like, there's a lot of snow out there. Don't get me wrong. But we still had, like, we still had traffic on our road. So I'm like, why isn't it freaking delivering packages in here? Well, I'm thinking, okay, well, it'll come tomorrow. It'll definitely come tomorrow. Do they run tomorrow? I think they'll run tomorrow. Whatever. So then I wait till the next day. Or no, that's the 22nd. The 23rd, I'm sitting there because we didn't think that they were going to run. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to call UPS. But I didn't decide to call them until I got a notification on my phone telling me that they tried to deliver the laptop and like the other 12 items that were out for delivery, but our business closed because of holiday hours. And I'm like, hold up, wait, what? Oh, what do you mean it closed because of holiday hours? And I'm like, we're not a bit, hold up. I'm like, wait a second. So I was like, okay, I'm going to call UPS. Now, we have 2 different UPS stores here in my town. There's a depot where the packages are put onto the trucks, and they have a customer service place where you can go stand, and if you have a package that's been waiting to be delivered, you can go pick it up as long as they haven't put it on a truck yet. And then we have a UPS store, which is a little bit further up the street, that you can send packages from. Now, I don't like that store because the lady that works in there is kind of a bitch. Anyways, so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to call UPS, the depot, to see if, you know, they can tell me what's going on because this is not a residence. So, and then the tracking was telling us, you know, it'll be delivered next business day. And I'm like, the next business day is like Tuesday. Like, what the flip? So I was like, all right. I got this. So I called the depot. Of course, it gives you the usual UPS number. And a lot of these numbers try not to have you talk to customer service. They have you try to talk to the automated service. And I'm like, I can't talk to a robot, so I kind of need to talk to a whole ass person. And every time you would try, it would say, sorry, we can't connect you with the customer service representative. And I'm like, what? Did y'all take the day off? Like, y'all knew people were going to call in and complain? Like, what is that? What's happening right now? So my neighbor then comes over and is like, hey, I don't mean to be weird or, you know, whatever, because I've still never really met them, minus we had one interaction, which I'll tell you back here in a few minutes. I'm like, they're like, I don't mean to, you know, be weird or anything, but have you guys gotten a UPS delivery within the last week? And I'm like, no, actually we haven't. Have you? And he's like, no, that's what I was asking, why I was asking, because we haven't. And we've had packages that we're supposed to have gotten here that haven't gotten here yet. And I'm thinking, okay, so it's not just us that isn't receiving packages. So I went and asked one of the other, like the oil field guys that live across the street from my house. And I'm like, have you guys gotten any packages? And they were like, no, we haven't seen UPS either. So about 3 or 4 of our neighbors have not received anything from UPS. UPS just stopped coming into the complex. So I knew it was time to call them when I got the notification that they attempted the delivery. And my Ring doorbell had finally thawed out. So it was telling us, you know, when people were at the door and stuff. But it said that they had attempted the delivery. The problem was the business was closed. And I'm like, this is not a business. This is a whole ass house. So I call, I get the usual number. I called that thing 6 times before I finally pressed the right, like, there's a special set of numbers you have to press. Like, you know how it's like, press 2 for Spanish. And I'm like, I don't speak Spanish. Press 3 for Portuguese. I don't speak that either. And so I pressed the right combination, I guess, to get to a customer service representative. I get to a customer service representative, y'all. This had to be the best customer service experience I have ever had. So let me explain. So the person picked up the phone and they're like, "Hi, thank you for calling UPS customer service. I know this is a busy time for all of us because of the holidays, so do keep in mind that your packages are going to be a little delayed, and we do apologize. Do keep in mind that we are all human, and sometimes it takes longer to do things. How can I help you?" And I'm like, first I thought it was an automated message the way they were talking, and I was like, okay. I was like, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. I have packages that were attempted to be delivered today, and I'm being told that they couldn't deliver them because the business was closed." I'm like, "The problem is, this is a whole ass house." And the guy's like, "Hold up, wait, what? It says what?" And I was like, I'm not joking. He said it just like that. He's like, "Hold up, wait, it says what?" And I was like, "It says the business is closed." And he's like, "Ooh, girl, let me check on that for you." And I hear the little typewriter going and him chewing his gum. And I'm like, oh my God. And I just clack, 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 clack. And so I'm sitting there like, okay, this, okay. And so he comes back and he's like, honey, give me one of the tracking numbers that you're looking for, honey. Give me one of the tracking numbers. And I'm like, okay. So I give him one of the tracking numbers. He goes, "And it says what to you?" And I'm like, okay. He goes, "Hold up. Wait, I got to see this for myself. I'm going to text you from the number you called from. This is a cell phone, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm going to text you, right? And you send a picture to that text message." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So they text me. I sent them a picture. He goes, "Business." And he's like, "And this is a residence, correct?" I'm like, "Yes, sir. It's a residence." Let me see what this dang computer doing now, because it's always messing up. And I was like, I'm thinking like he's talking about because he tried to type something in and it messed up. Nay. Apparently, all major carriers except for FedEx have had trouble with their tracking information. And so, or no, I'm sorry. DHL and UPS have been having trouble with their tracking information. So they're sitting there and they're like, okay. And if you can't tell, yeah, I still don't have nails on because they still have yet to be delivered. I'm guessing the person that sent them, I'm hoping they didn't send them UPS because that's an expensive cost for nails. But I'm going to be sporting some holiday nails and nobody's going to talk about it. We're just not going to talk about it. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, I'm hoping that my nails will come in today. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right. And he's like, "Ooh, girl, this computer system's all messed up because that's not even at all what it's showing me." And he's like, "This item isn't out for delivery. It's at the depot." And they're like, "Okay, what? Okay, I see. This is what I be talking about." And I'm thinking they're talking to me, and I'm like, what the hell did I do? He's like, "They always messing up. God, hold on a second, honey. Let me call somebody real quick." And I'm thinking, oh, okay. So he does whatever he does. Like I got that cool do 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 do. And who else besides me be jamming out to that hold music? You know it ain't just me. Don't make me over here acting like I'm crazy and stuff. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right. He comes back and he goes, "Girl, okay, this is what we about to do, okay? Because we about to write out on these people because the way they out here messing up right now at this time of year, this is not the time." And I'm like, yes. He's like, "Yes, honey. Okay, honey, this is what we gonna do, okay? What we gonna do is I sent them a message, right? I sent them a message to let them know to call you from the number that you called us from, okay? And they're going to call you within an hour, okay? If they do not call you within an hour, you call back here and you ask to speak to Miguel, okay?" I'm like, "Oh, Miguel?" He's like, "Yeah, Miguel. You tell them that you need to speak to Miguel and we're going to get this problem solved for you because the way they out here messing up right now when it's too close to be Christmas and they out here raising people blood pressure." Now, the only person's blood pressure who seemed to be raised in this particular conversation was Miguel's blood pressure, okay? Because I was sitting there confused as hell. Like, is this a joke? Like, I've never heard a customer service representative talk to me like this. One, not that it was a bad thing. It was funny as hell just because of the way he was just like, "Girl, we gonna help you. We gonna get your stuff for you." And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I hang up and I felt good about the conversation. Sat there for about an hour and a half waiting for them to call here from the depot. They didn't. So I called back. "Hello. Hi, is this UPS? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't say UPS when you answered the phone. Can I help you? Okay. Can I speak with Miguel, please? There's no Miguel here. Oh, but I just talked to him. There's no Miguel here. Oh, okay. Well, hi. I called in about an hour ago, and the guy's like, then why are you calling back? Wow. I'm like, okay. Now, we all know Miss Coffee has a short fuse, but it's the holiday season, and you're supposed to be nice and cheery for the holidays for some god-awful reason. And so I'm like, don't. He testing you gangster, don't give in. And I'm like, okay, well, I called in like an hour and a half ago to talk to someone because I had some packages. And he goes, before I could even finish, it's the holidays. They're delayed. People act like they don't know that your packages are going to be delayed. And I'm like, well, sir, when something guarantees it by Christmas, you know, we had a situation, if you would have finished listening to what I was saying, that, and he's like, it's the holidays. Of course it's going to be delayed. This is what happens when you order your gifts too close to Christmas. And I'm like, whoa, sir, what's not close to Christmas? Because 2 of these packages were ordered almost a month ago, and y'all still have yet to deliver them. I'm like, I'm just trying to figure out where my packages are, because according to my tracking, it says that the packages weren't delivered because the business was closed. And he goes, well, it sounds like you got your answer, so why are you calling? And I'm like, wow, you know, you're a complete dick, and I don't really want to talk to you. And he's like, well, tough, I'm all you have to talk to you right now because, you know, some of us have to work on the holidays. And I'm like, if you don't like your job, then find a new one. But what you're not about to do is have that attitude out here with me because I'm having questions about a package that's giving me the wrong information. He's like, it's not wrong. That's the information you got. That's the information you're supposed to have. How can I help you with anything else today? And I'm like, I would like to speak to a manager. I would like to speak to a manager right now. There's no manager. There's no manager. Then you need to transfer me to somebody else. He goes, I can just hang up. And I'm like, what the is your problem, dude? I'm like, if you don't like your job, why don't you quit? Why are you being a complete dick to people who are just trying to figure out what's going on with their packages? And he goes, because it's the same crap every freaking day. Where's my package? I'm like, you're customer service, idiot. You're not supposed to be getting, you know, here, you won $1 million. Like, what the hell? Like, you're literally supposed to be helping people with their packages. Well, I'm over it. Your package says what it says. It's the right tracking information. Have a great holiday. He hangs up. I'm like, you son of a... Oh... Mr. Coffee heard this interaction and decided he had had enough. Now, we did not catch the name of this person as they did not give us their name. So I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, maybe it's one of those ones that they work from home. And that's why he said there was no manager on site, because technically there wasn't if he's working from his house. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, Mr. Coffee hears this. He turns his game off. He goes, I'm going to the depot. And I'm thinking, okay, go up to the depot. So the depot is like 2 or 3 miles down the street from our Walmart. So it's not super far. So Mr. Coffee gets there and he's looking around waiting for somebody, and he finally sees somebody, and there's trucks coming in. 2 big like semi trucks coming in full of packages. And the lady he finds, he's like, hi, my name is such and such. We are having some information, or we're having some conflicting information with our tracking. And it says it's out for delivery, but then it also says it can't deliver because our business is closed when it's delivering to a house and not a business. Lady was sweet as pie with him. She was just like, oh, okay, you got the tracking numbers with you? And so instead of giving him all 8 tracking numbers that we were waiting for, instead of giving him all 8 tracking numbers, I gave him like 4. So the lady checks it out in the computer, and she's like, this is a residence. Why is it saying business? She looks at her computer system, and she goes, those packages aren't even in our warehouse. And I'm like, hold up. Did she say they're not in her warehouse? And she's like, yeah, hold on a second. So she looks at some little thing she had on her arm, and she goes over to one of the trucks and scans something on the inside of the truck, like on the inner bed of the truck, like a piece of paper or something. She takes her little wrist and scans it. And she goes, it's in this truck. She goes, all of these packages are literally on this truck. So the truck that pulled up, the big semi truck that pulled up when he got there, that's where our packages were. They were never out for delivery, even though a couple of them had said all week that they were out for delivery. They were never out for delivery. They hadn't even been in the state yet. They literally had just gotten there. And the lady goes, yeah, as you can see, and there's trucks, literally, like, and I'm on FaceTime so I can see this. There's literally trucks moving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Trucks being loaded, people going out for a second delivery. And the way that they were doing it was the morning shift, because it was so cold outside. The morning shift came in, got a truckload, emptied the truck, came back to the depot, warmed up while another driver would go out with the truck and the next set of deliveries. Once that load was emptied, they would come back. The first driver from the morning would come back, or whoever would come back, get into the truck after it's been reloaded for a third time, and then go back out again. They've been doing that, like cutting it into threes and working like these little 3 shifts because it was so cold out. And this is how they work during the holidays, which I thought was a great idea, because that allows people to not, run the risk of catching frostbite when it's like the -degree temperatures here, which is a reoccurring thing in North Dakota. That's not anything new. Like that polar vortex was just another day in North Dakota. Like literally it didn't stop anything. There were still people out on the rigs doing stuff. And for the person that asked me, does oil freeze? No, it does not. Not oil in the ground. I don't know why, but I asked Mr. Coffee and he said no. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, so the stuff is still on the truck. And she goes, yeah. She goes, more than likely, this stuff is actually going to be getting unloaded tonight. And we will be starting delivery on these items tomorrow. So you should have your packages tomorrow. Tomorrow being Christmas Eve. So we were like, okay, there's still hope that we'll get our stuff in time for Christmas. So Christmas Eve comes. I'm feeling some type of way. I make breakfast and I'm sitting there with we're sitting there trying to figure out like what we're going to do. Who are we calling first for the holidays? Because we don't live close to family. We have to make shifts of calling the different family members. We go from family to family. And since Mr. Coffee's mom's stuff didn't get there yet, we were still calling, wish her a Merry Christmas, but we got to call my parents first because a couple of the items did show up. So it seems like every item except for one item for Orion showed up. And I didn't think USPS was running, which is our normal postal service. I didn't think they were running. And Saturday, they ended up running because we got a notification that we had to pick up Orion's last gift at the post office. The problem is they closed early because of the holiday. So instead of closing at 2 o'clock, they closed at 12 o'clock. And by the time we got up and got dressed and around and got the notification, it was 1 o'clock. And I'm like, you sons of bitches. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I was like, yeah, we didn't think his package was going to come. And I streamed over on Twitch on Saturday. And right after my stream, I got a notification that my Redbubble order had been delivered. And I'm like, hold up. My Redbubble. And I had ordered a notebook from Redbubble. And one of the artists, her name is Princess PJs. She did a drawing of a lot of the different creators on Twitch. So I can show you the notebook. So this is the notebook that I ordered. Now, if you come over to Twitch, you would notice a couple of these faces. I want to say this is Kelly Maldonado art. This is Jazzy, I want to say. This is Gray Overcast art. Mel Doodles is holding the peach there. If you flip it around, this is Princess PJs. This is the creator of the artwork. This person's name is Vicho. This is Elise Yang. This is Ann Made This. If you know Brooklyn Kaiju, there's Kaiju, but his hair is down. That's me. How cool is that? That's me. And if you know folks in the community, Elisa Biccinucci. I'm sorry, Elisa. I can never say your last name. But that's Elisa. That's a fellow diamond painter. That is Elisa standing behind me on this notebook. So I got this notebook because it shows a lot. Like we have Killa Koala up there too. There's a lot of creatives on this notebook that I know. So I got this notebook and it had gotten delivered on Saturday. And I was like, I wasn't expecting this notebook to be here by then. But it got delivered on Saturday and I was like, all right, I had to get it because of course I'm on it. Like that's so free. And then she captured my face perfectly. Like my nose and I have a big nose and a big mouth and it's my signature. Like you can't miss that gigantic smile. So I was like, okay, I have to get the notebook. And so I also posted that she's been doing advent calendars. And so she's been turning folks into the community into stickers. And I was one of the lucky ones that, again, was chosen to be a sticker. So I posted the link for anyone over on my Facebook group and my Discord, which I need to start putting my Discord in the chat here, and my Discord and stuff, because the way that the new setup is going to be for next year is I'm going to have a setup somewhat like I do over on Twitch for my Friday night lives. I will still be diamond painting, But my setup is going to change. You guys are going to see the VTuber instead of just me. I have to figure out if there's a way for me to do this where it doesn't mess up anything. But you guys will see a VTuber in my hands. So you'll see my little chibi VTuber that was made for me by a friend of mine named Just Being Nikki. And that way, whenever you guys have something that you really, really must show me, you can put it in the Discord and I can show it. I'm not sure how that's going to go, though, because there's so many more people here on Twitch than there is over on... there's people here on YouTube than there is over on Twitch. And it literally would take me the entire, like, live to show off everybody's work. But, you know, maybe we can do a live where we do nothing but show off people's work. So, yeah. Anyways, so I'm sitting there. And I'm like, okay. So I go out to the mailbox, and sure enough, my notebook and one of Orion's gifts had arrived. And I'm like, oh, we don't have to go to the post office. I was so bummed out because I thought for sure that we weren't going to get that particular gift in time, which was a new headset. Orion broke his headset again. Now this kid goes through headset like most people go through pets. Like he keeps them for a little while, and then all of a sudden something drastic or major will happen. He was rushing to the bathroom with his last headset, and he went to go toss it on his bed. Well, his bed is made of wood. Real wood. So when he went to go toss it, the part that goes around his head hit the wood hard. And when it did that, it snapped the plastic on the headset, which made the headset kind of like broken. And where he could still use it, it still broke the headset. And he was bummed. And he was like, now all I want for Christmas is a new headset. All he asked for, literally, all Orion asked for Christmas was a new headset. Now, when Smitty was here, which Smitty, again, is our elf on the shelf. When Smitty was here, he got the kids new winter wardrobes. So, he didn't really want for anything. Orion, literally, the only thing on his wish list this year was a new gaming headset. And so, that's why it meant a lot to me to get that particular item, because I wanted to make sure he had a new headset. And where even if it would have gotten here late, he wouldn't have cared. I was just happy because I was like, we actually have something for the kids to open. So, because it took us a while to find a decent one that isn't going to break in like 10 minutes. So, I'm sitting there, which that was the Ring doorbell. So, if I happen to get something, because Mr. Coffee's gift is due to be out. It's out for delivery right now. Like, literally, when I checked it, it said it was out for delivery. Do I trust that? Not really. But just in case I have to pause, because I have to sign for his laptop, of course. Sorry, I'm just making sure. Don't push your drills with your multi-placer. It'll break it. Anyways, be a better human than Miss Coffee. Anyway, so we're sitting there, and I wanted to make sure that kids at least had one thing from us to open. Now, Maggie, we weren't too concerned about because there was only one thing we were getting Maggie, and technically, it's already here. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right. The only thing Maggie asked for was a new game. Now, there's this game called Shark Eater or People Eater or something Eater, where you're a shark and you just run around like eating people, okay? The game is on Xbox. Now, Maggie had a really old Xbox, so she asked, could she get a new Xbox for Christmas? And I'm thinking, no, what the hell's wrong with you? The way she can't keep her room clean, no, we're not doing the new Xbox thing. Now, Maggie has an Xbox, or she had. It was an Xbox 360 though, so it was super duper old, and it finally went kaput on her, so she couldn't play the games like she wanted to. Like, whenever we have community game night, the kids like to join in with us and play like Fall Guys and Among Us and stuff. So she would have to use my tablet because her Xbox died. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right, here we go. And I talked to Mr. Coffee about it, and I was like, what if we do this? What if we give her Orion's Xbox? Now, take it. Before a lot of y'all are like, oh my god, why would you give her Orion's Xbox? He plays with that. He does play with his Xbox, but he plays with his computer more than his Xbox, but he does play with his Xbox. And what we were going to do was this awesome thing. We were going to trade. So, the new Xbox, the Xbox Orion got for Christmas 2 years ago, right? I don't remember what series it was, but it wasn't like the high notch one, right? So, like, what we were thinking was get Orion a new Xbox, the high tier one, and then give Maggie his Xbox, because we didn't want to buy her something new for her to destroy it. Maggie's not exactly gentle with her things. So that was our plan. And I was like, that's what we'll do. Well, Christmas came and their stuff did not show up, which, by the way, we got to watch a Christmas movie. We got to watch Gremlins, which is the first time my kids have ever seen that movie. And we got to watch The Grinch, which, you know, Mr. Coffee fell asleep 20 minutes into the movie, so he didn't watch anything besides the TV watching him. But we got to watch these movies, and we got to, like, Gremlins. We got close to the end. Mr. Coffee was snoring so bad that we couldn't even enjoy it, so we tried to watch the end of it really loud, and we finally finished it, and everybody just kind of went to bed. I then had to get up and wrap a few more gifts, so I went and wrapped a few more gifts while everybody was sleeping in the house, and then Christmas came, and I felt some type of way. Now, if you remember me telling you that Maggie had gifts up in the closet from last year because she was so misbehaved that we didn't give her all her Christmas gifts, well, we found out real quick, fast, and in a hurry, where she did have a gift up there. One of the other gifts that was up there that we thought was another box full of toys was not a box full of toys. Mr. Coffee was thinking of the wrong box. The box that she didn't get that we thought had like 4 more toys in it, they were a set of winter boots from last year. A pair of $100 winter boots. And before you guys go, oh my God, you didn't give her the winter boots. One, Mr. Coffee was the one that looked up in the closet that told me that it was a box of toys. 2, the box of toys that he was thinking of was in my closet. The box that was in his closet was a pair of winter boots we bought her last year. And I know you're going, oh my God, $100 boots just went to waste. Nay, nay. Because as a parent, I have learned very quickly that you do not buy your children stuff in their size. You buy it a size or 2 bigger than what they need. Why is this? For this exact reason. So Maggie currently was wearing a size 1 and had been wearing a size 1 for 2 years when we bought these boots. I bought these boots in a size 2. Now, in a year's time, Maggie has gone from a size 1 to a size 1.5 in shoes. So even though the boots were a year old, they still fit. So Orion got a new set of boots from my parents. My parents have this thing about getting the kids Timberland boots. So Orion got a pair of Timberland boots, and I wanted to make sure Maggie got a new pair of boots as well. So I wrapped those up, and I was like, okay, if nothing else, she'll have a pair of boots. Then there was one particular item that was a toy in Mr. Coffee's closet. It was an ice cream shop that we had got her. It was a Melissa and Doug ice cream shop that we had gotten her that she had asked for last year for Christmas, but she just didn't get it because she wouldn't behave. Now this year, I have to say, though she drives me crazy, she did behave a little bit better this year than she did last year. So I was like, we're just going to give it to her this year. So we went ahead and wrapped it up for her because literally it was the only thing we had for her. Every gift that we bought for Maggie this year did not show up on time. And I felt some type of way because Orion's sitting there with 4 gifts and Maggie didn't have any. And so we wrapped up the ice cream shop, and we wrapped up, and my parents had sent one box that had a couple of little small gifts for everybody. So we wrapped that stuff up for her. So we made it equal where Orion was opening 4 and she was opening 4. I'm feeling horrible because the gifts didn't get there on time. I should have ordered them earlier. You know, I need to get better organized, and this is what I get for being lazy. Like, I'm beating myself up over the fact that the items didn't get here on time. And I'm pretty sure there's probably people out there that can relate to beating yourself up for, you know, not ordering it earlier, you know, not doing, you know, whatever you had to do to get there on time. Don't beat yourself up over it. Things happen, okay? And so Christmas morning came, and the kids, the way their face lights up on Christmas is like nothing else. And though the Christmas tree did not have a ton of gifts underneath it, they were happier than pigs in mud, okay? They were so freaking excited. They come upstairs, and I hear Maggie, like, when they went downstairs, they're loud as hell. They're like a bunch of elephants trampling down the stairs. So I heard them, and I had kind of woken up, and I hear them go, oh, it's Christmas! Look at all the gifts! And so they run back upstairs, and they come into our bedroom, and they're like, Mommy, Daddy, it's Christmas, get up, get up. And I'm thinking, no. And Orion's like, Mom, get up, it's Christmas, we have gifts, there's gifts. And I'm like, oh yeah, because they didn't, of course, usually we put out gifts earlier than we did, but with Killian tearing into things, we didn't put out any gifts this year. So the kids were getting a little concerned because where they usually would see gifts under the tree by now, we didn't put gifts under the tree until the night before. And I only did that because I knew Killian would not be downstairs to tear them apart. And because Killian's been having an issue with tearing stuff apart lately, I didn't want to, of course, put them down there for him to tear apart. So I didn't. So the kids were super excited. We get up, everybody gets dressed, we go downstairs, and we start, calling relatives. I had to call my parents who were playing Uno with my sister and her kids who came to visit. And we opened up their stuff with them on the phone, and then I let them go. And I was like, okay, so let's open up the last couple of gifts. So Maggie got this little blue whale. And when my parents went to Hawaii this year, they brought back some stuff that they gave us for Christmas. And so, like, everybody got, like, a Hawaii shirt. I got some sweatpants. Maggie got this little blue whale. I don't remember what Orion got. Orion got some kind of shirt, I think it was. But everybody got something from their Hawaii trip, okay? So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right. I hang up with them, and it comes time for them to open up the gifts from us. Orion opens up his gift. He immediately starts screaming because he's so excited. He screams at his new headset. He's super excited. He's like, thank you. He gives us a hug. He disappears. Well, I guess he didn't go too far because Maggie's like, did I get something? And I was like, yeah, you got something, honey. So we give her the ice cream shop, and she's super excited. She's all happy and, whatever. And surprisingly, they didn't care that they didn't get a lot for Christmas this year. I think each kid opened up maybe 5 gifts from what we already had here at the house. And they didn't seem to care. They just were happy at the fact that they got something to open. They didn't even care about the shitty wrapping job that I had to do because Mr. Coffee fell asleep. So that right there in itself was the best gift that I could have gotten because I was feeling like a shitty parent because I couldn't get their stuff there on time and they only had 5 gifts to open amongst both of them. Like, each of them had 5 gifts to open. And where I shouldn't be worried about how many gifts they have, I don't know. My brain just does stupid stuff. I was just happy that they had something to open. And when we asked Orion, because we had this talk before Christmas, like the last day of school, I asked them, when did he stop, believing? And it was weird to me that there are some kids that can remember back further than parents realize. And Orion says, I knew that I stopped believing when one year I remember watching the Rudolph movie. And I was like, okay, because we used to always watch Christmas movies when we lived in Pennsylvania. We watched Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and they were talking about the kids and, getting gifts and stuff, and who brought the gifts and everything else. Well, just a heads up, if you have tiny little ears around you, try not to have them listening in on this part. So he said he knew that he didn't believe anymore when he saw the movie, and that he would now take it. He was like 3 or 4 when this was happening. He saw the kids get gifts. And on that Christmas, there was no tree or gifts. Now, I told you guys that when we first had the kids that we were really broke. We couldn't afford Christmas. We couldn't even afford a Christmas tree, which is why I try to make Christmases now so special, is because they didn't have that when they were younger. And I'm thinking they won't remember it anyways. Well, Orion remembered waking up one year for Christmas and there was no gifts, there was no tree, there was no decorations, there was nothing. And we just pretended like it was another day. He remembered. And the way my heart dropped, I was like, I did not realize that you remembered that, Orion. He goes, yeah, that's when I stopped believing. Because we never told them any other way. We never told them that there was or wasn't, whatever. So we just let them come up with their own whatever, and we figured we would, tell them later. Maggie believed up until about a year or 2 ago. And then she was just like, because I saw you put the stuff under the tree. She woke up in the middle of the night one night as we were putting stuff under the tree. And then she realized that, that's not a thing. So neither kid believes. Maggie will act like she believes still, just because there's always little kids around. But for the most part, she doesn't anymore. So I was like, okay, so that's not a talk that I have to have with them later on in life about, whatever. So yeah, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right. And so this Christmas, you know, just felt where it did feel like Christmas, it didn't. I think it's just because of how quickly the holiday came up on us. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, well, each kid, Orion opens his headset, he runs upstairs. Maggie opens up her ice cream shop. She's super excited. Now they each had like one more gift under the tree. And so we call Orion back down and he opens up his gift and it was a gift card for his Roblox, whatever the game is. And Maggie opens up her gift and it's a pair of winter boots and she's super excited because she got new winter boots. She loves boots. She loves boots. Boots are her new thing right now. So she was super excited. And we never told them that there were some gifts that didn't get delivered, okay? And so they had their stuff. And Maggie was like, are we done now? Can we go upstairs? And I'm like, yeah. Well, then Orion's like, hey, Maggie, did you want to play Minecraft? And she goes, I can't. My Xbox doesn't work. And he's like, oh. He looks at us and he goes, did Maggie not get a new game system for Christmas? And I'm like, dude, we couldn't afford that. And he was like, oh, okay, hold on a second. So he runs upstairs. He unhooks his Xbox. He brings it downstairs. And he goes, Merry Christmas, Maggie. Y'all, the way I started crying like a baby. He gave Maggie his Xbox because he wanted to play with her on Christmas. And Maggie's Xbox was broken. And he knew she couldn't play on her Xbox. Now, take it. Maggie had been going into his room playing on his Xbox, and he doesn't like her in his room because she messes with his stuff. And so he was like, I want you to be able to have something that you asked for Christmas, because none of the stuff that she got was anything she asked for. The only thing she asked for was the Xbox. So he's like, I wanted you to be able to have something that you wanted for Christmas. And so she goes up in her room. She gets one of her stuffed animals. And she gives it to Orion, and she's like, Merry Christmas. And he's like, oh, thanks. So every once in a while, the kids will get along. And when they do, it's the most heartwarming thing. And the fact that they didn't complain that they didn't get, like Maggie didn't complain that she didn't get the Xbox for Christmas. She just accepted it, but was just happy with what she had. And Orion, he just wanted the headset, and he had gotten that. And I felt horrible when she said that she couldn't play with him because her Xbox was still broken. And she didn't even complain about, like, you know, the fact that she didn't get a new, like, she didn't do like a, you know, well, I didn't get the Xbox I wanted for Christmas, so I can't play with you. She just said, you know, I can't because my Xbox is still broken. And that triggered Orion to go give her his Xbox. Now, when he did that, of course, I'm sitting there, I have tears in my eyes because I can't believe that he did that because it's his gaming stuff, and Orion's a gamer. And I'm thinking, why did you do that, dude? And he's like, because it's the only thing she asked for. And if we can't afford it, you know, I don't need to play my Xbox. I can play my computer, and Maggie can play the Xbox. That way she can at least play with us. Because he was hoping she would get an Xbox so she wouldn't have to come in his room. And so this will keep her from coming in his room. So it's a win-win for him because he doesn't have to worry about her coming in his room to play his game. So I was like, all right. So I was like, you guys, come here real quick. Come sit down. So we sat them down, and we explained to them that there was a couple of gifts that did not get received. And they said, okay, but we got everything. Like, why do we need anything else? And I'm like, honestly, you don't. But there are a few things that did not come in the mail. And Orion's like, okay, but can we go play now? And I was like, okay. I was going to tell them what didn't come in the mail. The problem is, they didn't care. They just wanted to go play. So we let them go play. Now, for those who are still here and wanting to know what didn't arrive, Maggie has a pair of winter boots coming from my parents. The kids each have the giant holiday stockings. So what my mother-in-law does is every year she made them a few years ago, these giant like Christmas stockings. And one is green and one is red. And they have their names on them. And what she does is she fills them all throughout the year full of random toys. Like random toys you find at the dollar store or at Walmart or wherever she's at, or like a Target or something. Those random little cute toys that kids like to play with that only last for like a few minutes before they break. She fills the stocking full of those all year. And then a week or two before Christmas, she seals them up because they have like a little button and a loop on them that closes them shut so that nothing falls out of them. She boxes them up and then she sends them to us. The kids open it on Christmas and then we send her back the stockings so she can do the same thing next year. So if you are a grandparent, this might be an idea that you have for your grandkids, because I think it's the best thing ever. So that is one of the items that did not get here in time, was Grams, which is what they call Mr. Coffee's mom. That's Gram. Gram's presents didn't get here. The winter boots and another Hawaii shirt from Maggie didn't get here. Maggie didn't even notice that she didn't get a whole shirt from Hawaii, but everybody else did. But also, our original plan already was to take Orion's Xbox and give him a new Xbox. That way they both had newer Xboxes so that they lasted for a while. What Orion doesn't know is that he has a new Xbox coming in today. And the fact that he had it in his heart that he would go without an Xbox. And I don't know if he thought maybe he'd ask for an Xbox for his birthday or something, or what. But the fact that he was willing to give his Xbox up to his sister, I'm like, how can you not see the beauty in something like that? When I've seen kids react to Christmas gifts before, and it wasn't always favorable, especially if they didn't get what they wanted. And I literally watched my son, who has the biggest heart, even though half the time he's trying to murder his sister, he gave her something that he really enjoyed just so she had something that she asked for Christmas. Not knowing that we were planning on doing that anyways and replacing his, he did it anyways. And it was the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. And I'm like, this is that one of those moments where I know I'm raising my children correctly. I'm raising them to be selfless and giving, and, it's better to give than to receive. And even when I did that last What You Got Wednesday, if you noticed in the What You Got Wednesday, typically what ends up happening is Maggie always gets more stuff than Orion does, because Orion is kind of a silent member of the family, because I don't talk about him too often, because usually he's in his room. And unless he says something smart to me, you typically only hear about Maggie. Now, if you notice in the last What You Got Wednesday, there were only 2 cups that were given to us from a subscriber. We got a cup for me and a cup for Maggie. Orion didn't get a cup. And immediately when he saw the cups, he wanted one. And I was like, I can make you one, but it's not going to be like textured like these cups. So if nothing else, I have to go order him a cup from this person, because I want to make sure that he has one as well. But Orion tends to get forgotten a lot because he is kind of like a silent member, just like Minna. A lot of folks forget that Minna's one of my kids, mostly because, again, I don't talk to her because she doesn't live here. Now, I do still send stuff out to Minna, but a lot of the times it's just like I'll wait 6 months before I send it so she has a nice big box full of stuff. And so that's what we did this time. So she has a box of stuff that has to be shipped out. We never got to the post office to send it out, which she likes late Christmas gifts anyways, just because of the hustle and bustle of everything. She likes being able to just open it. And so what she does is she calls us on her Echo, because her Echo is an Echo Show. We got her one of those a couple of years ago, so that at any time that the kids want to talk to her, they can just drop into her room. And don't worry, they have privacy shields on them, and Minna's privacy shield is always on. So what they can do is, from their rooms, they can call their sister in another state by just saying drop into her room. And they do talk to her often, and it's a way for them to talk to each other. And like Minna will read Maggie bedtime stories sometimes and stuff like that. Or Maggie would just call to make faces at Minna usually. So Minna won't mind the late box. Plus, she knows what the weather's been like. They've been having snow in Pennsylvania as well. So she knows what the weather's like. So she's not sitting there like, God, they didn't send my gift out. And she already knows who her mother is. Like, Minna knows me well enough to know I don't do nothing on time, and I'm always late, and I work on baby time, and she knows exactly what that's like. So she's not bothered. She did call later in Christmas Eve or Christmas night to wish us a Merry Christmas and to open her gift. Now, if you remember, I did another whip and chat talking about Minna wanting a weighted blanket for Christmas. And so I'm sitting there, and she goes to pick up the package. Now, she had forgotten, because she had asked me for this like months ago. She had forgotten that she had asked for this weighted blanket, so she did not realize that that's what she got for Christmas. So she grabs one of the packages and she puts it on her bed. She's like, this thing is freaking heavy. What's in here? She goes, I didn't ask for furniture. And I'm like, I didn't get you furniture. She thought it was a new bookshelf because she has been talking about needing a new bookshelf. And I'm like, I'm not buying you a bookshelf. I don't know how big you need the bookshelf. So I'm like, I'm not buying you a freaking bookshelf. So she thought I had bought her the bookshelf. And I'm like, I told you I'm not buying you no goddamn bookshelf. So I look at it, I'm like, hold up, wait, you're forgetting a gift. And she goes, what do you mean? I'm like, there's another small gift. And she's like, wait, what? I'm like, it showed up, like her package got delivered on the 19th, which is the same time I ordered, around the time, it's essentially almost the same order as my artist glove that I ordered that never showed up here. Her package arrived on the 19th, mine still have yet to get here. And so she's like, hold up, wait, another one? I'm like, yeah, there's another gift. So she goes looking around her house. She goes looking and I get mad because I'm like, why did her dad not give her the freaking package? And I don't really talk to her dad. So I co-parent, of course, with her father, but we don't talk, like, ever. Like, Minna has a cell phone that I pay for, and that way he can't turn it off when he gets mad about something she didn't do, and I always have a direct line of contact with her. And she's a teenager, so, you know, take your teenager's phone when they misbehave. Now he can't do that because I pay for the line, so unless he pays for the line, he can't take it away from her. Plus, Minna's not a bad kid anyways. And plus, if he really needs to badly call me, he can call me, but I haven't talked to Minna's dad in like 5 years. So, like, unless it was that time where, like, she came to visit for the summer, we haven't talked to her in like 5 years, or talked to him in 5 years. So it's not like we talk to him often or something. Like, I did wish him a Merry Christmas. We wish each other Merry Christmas and Happy Birthday and stuff like that, but we don't talk. So I'm like, you know, where would Dad put your gift? And she goes, I don't know. So she goes looking around the house for like 20 minutes, could not find it. I'm getting mad because why didn't he just give her the freaking package? Finally finds it under a bunch of stuff on their kitchen table or something. And I'm like, okay. So she goes upstairs and she's super excited. She opens it up. It's something she needed for track and field. They're like calf sleeves or something. Like they look like, I don't know, stockings without the feet or the crotch part. And so she was super excited she got those because she really, really needed those. And she's like, yes, I got my calf shields. And I was like, yeah, you asked for the calf shields. So that's what I got. So she was like, all right, what's in this box? So she puts the calf shields on her dresser next to her track and field stuff. And she goes, what's this box? And she seems to really like track and field. So I think she finally found like her thing. Because she did cheerleading for a while and I think she liked it, but it just wasn't aligning with her. And now she's doing track and field, and she's been doing track and field now for, I want to say 2 years. So I think she finally found, you know, the thing she likes to do. She can play flute and she can play, clarinet, and she was a cheerleader, and now we're doing track and field. So she got that. And she goes to open up the big gift, and the way her eyes lit up, you would have thought there was LED lights in the package. She was like, no way. Now, me not paying attention when I buy stuff, right? This chick got a fancier blanket than I did. One side of her blanket is fleece. And I've never seen a fleece-lined weighted blanket before. So I was like, hold up, wait, what? Then, not only that, it comes with a sleeve. So this blanket is like a queen-size blanket. It's 20 pounds. And I figured that's enough weight for you, okay? That's enough weight for you. You're fine. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right, got you the weighted blanket. And she's like, hold up, wait, what's this? She pulls it up, and it's another, like, micro fleece blanket lining with, like, ridges on it, like, it's textured. And she's like, oh my God, is this like a case for the blanket? I'm like, apparently, that way too, you can wash it. You can still wash the weighted blanket, but, like, I didn't realize it came with a sleeve. So I go back and look at my order, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should pay attention when I order these things. So she got it's kind of like a fleece-lined blanket. So on one side, it's like this weird, like, fiber material. I don't know. It's, like, smooth. And the other side is like a fleece, almost like fur, like, material. And then the sleeve that came with it has, like, the ridges on it. It looks so nice. I went to go look for it for myself because I was like, if I got her one this nice, I want one this nice. I go look for it. It's sold out. And I'm like, you sons of bitches. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right. So she puts it in there And I tell her, if you punch yourself in the face, do not call me and tell me that you did it, because all I'm going to do is tell you I told you so. Y'all, within 10 minutes of her getting this blanket out of the packaging, she had put it on her bed, laid down, and before I could even say goodbye to this child, she had fallen asleep, okay? So for those folks that are curious about weighted blankets and children, one, my child is 16, so it works great for her. She loves it. I haven't spoken to her since. I'm really hoping she woke up and like was able to do real life stuff. Not quite sure about that though. But everybody did have a good Christmas. Mr. Coffee's gift did not make it in time, but it is supposed to come today. And I'm not telling them anything about the tracking, so the kids don't know that they have more stuff coming, or they do know that they have more stuff coming. They don't know exactly what it is. They were just happy with what they had. And currently right now, the reason why it's so quiet and I haven't had to take a break because of them is because they're playing Minecraft together. So that's nice. Minna, super happy with what she got. She was like, and I told her, you expect another box in another week or so. I'm going to send your next box out. And she said, fine. Mr. Coffee, he didn't really care because he was just like, can I play my game now? Mr. Coffee just, he's playing his game. There's something going on in his game that he wanted to play, and he's just like, can I just play my game now? And I was like, all right, go play your game. Because I made him stop playing his game, of course, because the kids were opening their Christmas gifts. So he went back to playing his game, and I didn't tell him, but his package is also due to come in today. So I'm super excited for everybody to get their Christmas stuff. I didn't ask for anything else for Christmas just because I had already had so much. But one of the cool things that I did get for Christmas was a webcam. Now, I have been talking about wanting a webcam for a long time because with a webcam, I will be able to diamond paint and use my OBS system for YouTube and not just for Twitch. So I did ask for a webcam, and my dad, last minute somehow, was able to skate in a webcam. And it's a really good webcam. I don't know, like he got it from Amazon. It's not like a super fancy one, which is nice because I don't do fancy stuff because I'm not gentle with my things either. Where do you think Maggie gets it from? But it's a really nice webcam, and I tried it out and it works great. I didn't have to do a whole lot to it. It just immediately hooked up to my computer, and immediately my computer recognized it, and I was like, let's go for easy accessibility, because the way my life is set up, anything difficult, no, we're not doing that. So yeah, so I got pretty much everything I wanted. The kids were happy. I was happy. Mr. Coffee was happy. My parents were happy with the stuff that they got, even though my dad found out that with Scentsy, now let's talk about that real quick. I told my dad I was going to quit Scentsy because it just was taking up too much of my time. Now it takes a long time to make those posts that I put up in my Scentsy group for those folks that are in my Scentsy group. If you do not like Scentsy or whatever, that's your prerogative. That's fine. Just please keep your opinions to yourself. I don't care. So I told my dad I was going to quit Scentsy. He asked me not to because he really likes their products, and he's like, I don't really want to buy off anybody else because I don't trust them to tell me whether something actually smells good or not. So I decided that I'm not going to quit Scentsy. What I'm going to do is, instead of making 7 posts a day, which is completely unnecessary, I'm going to finish out this week with 7 posts. And then the posts are going to get cut back to maybe 3 or 4 posts a day. I feel like that's a little bit more manageable than 7. 1, 2, because essentially all I'm doing every day is reposting the same thing over and over again, and it feels redundant. And I don't want to clog people's feeds with Scentsy stuff, which for those who might be interested, the Scentsy link is always in the description box of the video, along with my Twitch link. And I will try to remember to put my Discord link in the Discord, or in the my Discord link in the description box for those who might be interested. So I decided I'm just going to cut back on posting as much, where I still won't be able to do samples and stuff because I legitimately don't have 4 to 5 hours to depend on, or to spend on melting and, curing and all that. I still can't do the sample stuff, but I still can be a representative without doing samples. So, yeah, and where it might suck because I know a lot of people would rather smell the item than just try to hope and guess. If you ever get a scent that you don't like from Scentsy, because I'm unable to do samples, let me know. We will have you send it to me, and I will send you whatever scent you want. If it's available in the store, of course. I can't just magically send you stuff that no longer is available. And that's how I'm going to work it. from now on. So if you get a scent that you don't like, you will send it to me. Once I receive it, I will then send out what scent you do want. That way I can make sure everybody is happy, and that's something that I can do. And especially seeing as how whenever I send out wax bars, I can send those through the regular mail, and I don't have to keep going to the post office. That's how I'm going to run things from now on. So if you're one of my Scentsy members and you stuck through for all this time, I would just like to say thank you so much for your continued support. I cannot tell you what it means to me and my family that you still support, even though I know a lot of folks would rather somebody that was able to do samples. Since I'm not able to do samples, if you buy anything and you don't like it, scent-wise, let me know. I will send you what you want to try next, and you will just have to send me the wax you don't like. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the way it's going to go. So 3 to 4 posts a week or a day. And it won't probably even be every day. It'll probably be like every other day. Unless something new comes out, there's no reason for me to post as much. So unless something new comes out, it'll just be 3 to 4 posts a day, every other day. And then whenever new stuff comes out, of course, you guys will get like at least 24-hour warning before it comes out, as long as I know it's coming out. And I'm just going to work it like that. That seems a lot more manageable for me and something that I can do to continue working with Scentsy. Also, I got a really cool gift from Scentsy, thanks to you guys and all your support. There was a incentive going on that I didn't realize there was going on. And they asked me for my shoe size and like my foot measurements the other day. And I didn't know why. It was like a couple of weeks ago. They asked me for my measurements and stuff. And I was like, why do you want the measurements for my foot? And they're like, well, you got your incentive, so you get to pick out a pattern, and we need your foot size. And I'm like, okay. So, why is that? That's because Scentsy has an incentive program where, which it doesn't run all the time. It just happened to run at that time when I first started Scentsy. That if you met all the criteria, you had a couple of gift choices. And one of them was a specialized, made just for you pair of Vans. Now, if you don't know what Vans are, those are shoes. And I'm thinking, what? Vans? Like, Scentsy has a contract with Vans, where Vans will make a special pair of shoes for folks, for their Scentsy folks. But you can only get the patterns through Scentsy. And they don't sell them on, like, their regular website. You have to win an incentive to get it. And so when I saw that I won it, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, whatever. I didn't think about it. I was just like, here's my foot size, and like they take all your measurements. And so I'm sitting there streaming yesterday, which was Monday, minding my own business, just streaming. And Mr. Coffee goes, we got a package. Now, FedEx is on their A game, okay? FedEx is out here delivering packages yesterday, the day after Christmas today. I ordered something on the day, Christmas Eve. I got a gift from a friend, and I ordered something offline, and I got it today. Like, FedEx literally just delivered it to my door when I took the first break to go get that notebook. And so I was like, FedEx is on their A game. So yesterday, while I was streaming, I got a package, and I'm like, hold up, wait. I'm thinking all the FedEx places and UPS places are closed because UPS is closed. But FedEx was not closed. FedEx was still out here delivering them packages. They said, we ain't about to be backed up after the holiday. So they out here delivering packages still. So Mr. Coffee goes, you got a package. I'm wondering what's in it. And I'm like, well, what's in it? He opens the box. He gets this big look on his face. Like his eyes get real big. And I'm like thinking, hold up, did I order him something? Because Mr. Coffee gets super excited about the Scentsy stuff too. He loves the Scentsy stuff, especially since it makes the house smell good. So he loves it. So he's like, I'm thinking I ordered something for him, and it came in, but I was like, hold up, what the hell did I order? And so I was like, well, what is it? He comes over, he shows me the top of the box. I was like, no flipping way. So what did they send me? This. These are my specialty Vans. Now, these Vans were made literally just for me, which makes them that much more special. You can tell they're Scentsy because look at the little wax bars at the bottom. There's little wax bars at the bottom there. This design is not available anywhere. It's only available through Vans. And apparently, I didn't realize that when they first told me about it, I didn't realize that they had a contract with Vans to make specialty Vans for their consultants. And I was like, no flipping way. That was probably another really good surprise that I wasn't expecting. So I'm pretty happy. But yeah, so Christmas, where it was chaotic and it just had times of ups and downs, it actually wasn't bad. The kids are happy, Mr. Coffee's happy, my parents are happy, my in-laws are happy, I'm happy. Chaotic but good is the only way I can describe it. So nothing else. We had a good Christmas, for those wondering. But with that said, I probably should get out of here now because I need to go wait for the mailman because I have to sign for Mr. Coffee's gift. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day and you continue to do so. I will give you a heads up. One, if you made it this far in the video, put a little smiley face in the thing. I want to see who actually watches these things the whole way through. Because I'm thinking about cutting back the amount of time that I do the whipping chats, because if people are not getting to the end of the video, then what's the point of making it an hour long? Maybe I need to cut it back a little bit. But with that said, I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day and continue to do so. And remember to stay safe out there in those crafty streets. But with that said, I must now bid you adieu, but not before reminding you that it's hard out here in these crafty streets. So please remember to stay safe. Wear a mask, wash your hands, don't touch your face in public. That's gross. Keep your 6 feet and always try to remember to be kind to others. You never know what somebody else is going through. Be courteous because it's the right thing to do, and always stay cool. Bye, guys.